Welcome to Scene Invaders. You got Dan, Xander, Billy, and Jules here, and we're here to talk some more From. Can't get us stopping talking about From. We need more. So what we're going to do today is talk about season 4. We got some comments, we got some videos, we got some speculation. There's a lot of things we want to talk about season 4. I can't get enough of this show. I always say either this or Severance is my favorite show on TV. Severance is coming back in January, and yay, we'll be here covering it. We can't wait. But let's talk some more From. There's an interesting thing that has been going around that I've been seeing in the comments. We have 2 comments about it, and that Xander found about Dr. Mabuse. So if you guys are wondering what that's all about, and that's why it's in the title of this video, Xander, what's this all about?
All right. So Dr. Mabuse is a character from a 1921 book that was written. I think there was a follow-up a few years later in the 1930s. But basically, he is a master of disguise and telepathic hypnosis known to employ body transference, most often through demonic possession, but sometimes utilizing object technology such as televisions, phonograph machines to build a society of crime. So kind of ties into him being able to speak as Thomas through the phone, through the radio, picking up through Jim's radio tower, telling him not to go in. It all kind of ties in nicely. He rarely commits his crimes in person, instead operating primarily through a network of agents enacting his schemes, thus remaining a shadowy figure. Who does that sound like? Who does that sound like? Man in Yellow? Man in Yellow. All right.
Does very much sound like Man in Yellow.
It feels like it's directly pulled from this. Yes.
His agents range from career criminals working for him to innocent blackmailed or hypnotized into cooperation, to dupes manipulated so successfully that they do not realize that they are doing exactly what Mabuse planned for them to do. So that ties into all the monsters being created by sacrificing their kids. I don't think it was confirmed, but I'm pretty sure it's implied that he's the one who gave them that deal.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I'm with that.
I love the thing at the end where he's like kind of known to trick people into doing they... Yeah, so it ties into Elgin and Sarah, and I'm sure there's going to be
exactly
a few
what
more.
I was about to say.
Yeah, there's going to be a few more examples we realize by the end of the series that we're like, oh, they were not doing good things when like we think like main characters are doing something good. It's probably going to not be as good as we think it is.
I would also say you could look at it on like a broader scale too, because like, you know, they have something good happen, and I feel like this force is like hurting them towards a certain outcome. So they're like, oh, this is so great. We're making some progress here. And he's like, you think so?
Right. Mabuse's identity often changes. One Dr. Mabuse may be defeated and sent to an asylum, jail, or the grave, only for a new Dr. Mabuse to later appear. So this kind of ties into stuff we're going to talk about later of who could be the next Dr. Mabuse, which is kind of exciting and weird. And it
Who's
also...
Jacob?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, super simple or super similar to Lost, which I'm rewatching right now.
I know.
I need to do that too. It's on Netflix right now. I need to do it too.
20th anniversary, guys.
Yeah, we can make a video about it.
I'm not even joking, Jules. The best show that has ever existed. Like From is pretty good, but Lost.
If Lost existed in the Scene Invaders time, that would be the show.
That would be the show.
10 videos a week.
Now, though, that's like that would motivate me to watch it.
Yeah.
If I like knew I had to make a video on it, like
oh, dude, let's make a video on it.
We should make a video on it. We should make a video comparing all the From things to Lost things. I bet you would do really
God, characters to characters, yeah.
Sounds fantastic. Guilt Jules into watching it in the comment section, and we'll make that video. All right, just so you guys know, we're sponsoring this episode ourselves. So Jules, if you pick up your shirt there, she has our Christmas merch, and it's a little alien invasion, people ice skating. You got our logo in the corner. I got our regular old merch on, but we have a great Christmas drop. If you want to see the full collection, it's tagged down below, and Jules is going to show it off at the end of the video also. If you want to support us, grab a hoodie. That's great. If not, thanks for watching anyway. All right, let's get into the fan comments. So the first one deals with some Mabuse stuff, some other stuff. So Jules, what we got?
This is from Funny9867. There's this theory going on. I think it aligns much with the show. The man in yellow is Mabuse. The spider is Witch. They both play a card game. On Sun Eclipse, everything gets reset. Like everyone in town dies and we get new people or a new cycle. Tarot cards used by the Witch also resembles where Tabitha sees Jim hanging in the tower. Boyd and Sarah experience the spider as the spider is the Witch.
That is cool.
Oh,
That's pretty cool.
This goes with the man in yellow is Mabuse. Billy, what do you think, man?
Cool. Yeah, first one up on mine at Uru123. These are just some theories I've pieced together from what others have shared, mixed with my own ideas. Big credit to the FROMily for all the deep dives. There's so much out there. Obviously, there is. Shout out to everyone. It's really smart.
Yeah.
The man in yellow feels like a blend of the King in Yellow and Dr. Mabuse. His name even shows up subtly on the ambulance equipment. Both characters deal with deception, creating fictional realities, and orchestrating mind games, all seemingly for the amusement of hidden, shadowy force. What do you all think? Could this tie into the show's bigger picture? Yeah, it's on the ambulance. It's in the hospital.
Yeah, I'll put the pictures up.
yeah.
Yeah.
The defibrillator
I've seen a
that
lot
Randall
of stuff
uses.
on that,
Yeah.
and it just, I mean, it makes sense, and it's one of those things where it's like it's right there, but not like in your face.
Hey, we talked about the number 12, right? She's on the 12th floor. Now we found out that the answer is 12. Shout out to Jim, by the way. We all hated on Jim. We still all hate Jim, but there was that glib line in like season 1 where he's like, the answer is 12. Well, turns out the answer was fucking 12. But
We got a comment later on in this video from the FROMily account on Twitter about the number 12, which is really cool. So we'll talk about that when it
Awesome.
comes up. But I love the King in Yellow, Dr. Mabuse. If you watched True Detective season 1, you know all about the King in Yellow, Yellow King. And I think the man in yellow is 100% a blend of these two, more so Dr. Mabuse because of what Xander read in the beginning of this video. So I love this, and all for the amusement of a hidden shadowy force. It does seem like that because they know what's going on at all times. It's just like what the man in yellow said right before he killed Jim.
Your wife shouldn't have dug that hole, Jim.
It's like they're watching and they know what's going on at all times. So it is for their amusement. It's great. It's really well thought out.
And
I love it.
I don't think my only holdup is I don't think it ties into anything bigger. I think he is the big bad.
I did try to warn you.
I don't think
Yeah.
they would have
me too.
time in the next 2 seasons to go up another level. I think he's the big bad. And, you know, I've always thought the boy in white is the big good.
I was gonna say
The big good.
Yeah, to me, it definitely seems like it's like the man in yellow versus the boy in white.
The boy in
Wouldn't
white.
it be sick if I don't know if we've ever said this on any of our videos, would it be sick if the boy in white was the man in yellow's son that was like sacrificed at some
shit.
point?
Oh,
yeah.
Yo,
Talk about
Daddy
daddy
issues.
issues.
You're mad at your dad, not at me. I forgive you. Yeah, I am. I hate my father.
he was like the
Daddy
OG
issues.
sacrifice.
Yeah.
But haunt your
man.
ass, dad.
I'll haunt you,
Ooh.
Dad. Yeah. Oh my God.
That's wild.
That's amazing. All right. So we got 3 videos today, all from Discord members. We have 10 spots left at the $1 tier. So if you want to join our Discord, it's a lot of fun. 10 spots left. And then they're going to be $5 from there on. So here is the first video from Larissa.
Hey guys, so my theory for season 4 is that I think that this is a story as old as time. The typical story of good and evil fighting, and a story about the human soul, perseverance, love, sacrifice, redemption, all of the good stuff. But what leads me to think that it's a really ancient place with an ancient evil, and then it's a really, like, this has been going on for ages, the cycle, is that the kids, when they come up to Tabitha, they chant some ancient word. They could have just come up to her and said, you know, listen, remember, use English words, but they're using an ancient word and chanting that over and over again. So that tells me that the children and everything, that this has started a long time ago. This is old story, and they're fighting an old evil. And I think that Julie will travel obviously back in time, but I think that she's gonna have to go way back, a very long time back, where it all began, in order to fix this. So AK save the children, and she might need the help of Tabitha and Jade to do it. And obviously Ethan is key. I've always believed that Ethan is key to, like, it's his story. He's even telling her what to do. And she's gonna obviously have to ask him everything she needs to do to fix the timelines. And I don't know, Jim is dead in that timeline, but if she goes back and fixes everything, I think she could literally take them all home. So that's what I think.
Yay.
Very good. Couple things on that. So I do agree that Ethan is a huge importance to this show, but I don't know if I'm convinced that even if she goes back to where it started, I don't know if she can change anything because they said it in the show, kind of like Tenet, the movie, what's happened, right?
Yeah,
So-
but I think she can learn a
Parrot
lot
that.
from that, though.
She can learn a lot. That's
You
true.
just use the most like universally known as complicated movie to be like, yeah, it's simple. It's like Tenet, that movie no one
That
understands.
bullshit movie that makes me. bleh.
I'm a fan of Tenet.
I'm
fan
a
of
huge
Tenet.
fan. I haven't heard anyone talk about Marielle and Randall either, because I'm assuming
Yeah.
they can do the same thing as Julie.
You think
I don't-
so?
Yeah, I think it has
Yeah.
something to do with the cicadas and like what happened, and that's why they're all connected right now and going through a bunch of
Oh.
shit. And then
Imagine Randall being a Storywalker and then his reaction afterwards. Like, what the fuck was that shit? It would be so funny. Oh my
that'd
god.
be great.
So yeah, I don't know if she can actually change anything, but we'll see. Good theory. No,
I was just gonna say, Ethan. I'm always the one on these theories that just thinks everyone's evil. So like, I'm thinking about Ethan. You know, they throw you those kind of. There's been times he's wearing the yellow jacket, right? And a lot of times people like the misdirection or whatever. There could be part of me that thinks that Ethan's the one who's getting Julie on the right path, right? Like, this is the story. Here are the rules. Is he trying to set her up to stop himself? Like that he becomes the man in yellow, and like maybe like he's trying to. I always think that like everyone's evil in my head.
even Ethan for you is evil.
I don't think that Ethan in that iteration or in that type of theory would be evil, but it's almost kind of like the inevitability of the cycle, right? And
Yeah, sure.
trying to be able to affect the cycle. And so maybe even if it's not that he's evil, he knows that he has to take over and like he has to set her. He knows he has to set her on the right path. I just have a hard time believing that this kid knows all the rules of storytelling and everything and has never gone through this before, or it doesn't have some kind of other inside information, right? It just
Fair
seems
enough.
weird that he's just like some kid.
Speaking of Ethan, it just kind of popped into my head. I wonder if there is going to be a time jump next season because they're waiting longer than they usually do in between seasons. And even if they
Mm.
only waited the regular
Ah.
amount of time, I feel like this is the age where Ethan's just going to turn into a
yeah,
small
he's gonna hit a
he-
growth spurt.
yeah, like he's going to hit
Puberty.
it so hard. Like, he's got to be 12,
Yeah.
12, 13 now. I think they're trying to make him younger, so it's hard to tell. So he's going to be like 13, 14, I guess.
Like the
by
Stranger
time they
Kids
shoot.
things, kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. I wonder if they
They're
work
gonna
it
have
into the
that
story
problem.
at all. Cause it's getting to the point where I'm like, if you binge this show, by the time you get to season 4, is that what we just did? Season 4? It's
Season
like-
3 we just finished. Yeah.
Oh, season 3. Right. It's kind of weird. You're like, Ethan's pretty big now. Everyone's still treating him like he's 6. And he's
Yeah.
clearly not
He's
6.
just this like
Yeah.
20-year-old guy in like 10-year-old's clothes.
Yeah, by the time they
I-
finish, he'll be like 16, which is crazy.
I think they might have to do a time jump. That's a very good
Mhm.
point. Next up, we got from the fans of From account on Twitter. Check them out. They're fantastic. The FROMily. So 12 talisman, 12 monsters to witness the Smiley rebirth, 12 musical numbers to create the Ankui melody, and the other things that stand out with the number 12. So if you're wondering, are there actually 12 talisman? There is a behind the scenes bit of one of the showmakers saying, yes, there are 12 talisman.
There are 12 different talismans. They're all unique.
So that is true.
They have these like little ornate stenciling on them.
Anything with 12? Yes, there is another thing with 12. Tabitha was on the 12th floor of the hospital when she woke up. And what you said about Jim. So 12 is, yeah, it's a big number in the show.
The actor who plays Ethan, you were right, is actually 12. So we're
He's
just
12.
staying
There you
right
go.
along the lines.
Yeah.
Wild.
Oh my God, it's all connected, bro.
They do
The
it.
answer is Ethan.
I think it also could be a clock, you know? It's like
That's
some
the thing that
significance.
keeps popping into my mind is a clock.
There's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for?
Cyclical.
Cyclical, yeah.
There we go. I was
Yeah.
circular and cyclical. There's a lot of cyclical things in this show, like everybody coming back that's been there before.
Mhm.
When we see that picture of like what Victor's drawn, it's a giant circle. So yeah, and then those ideas of like the whole place shifting underneath, pretty wild. And it could be something bad happens when you get to midnight, or something good happens if they make it till midnight. Who knows?
I like that. I like that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Next up, someone tweeted at me. Really cool guy.
All right. So this one is from Qui-Gon Jinn and Tonic, which is at Cool Nerds Swagga on Twitter. At Scene Invaders, question: is the boy in white the most powerful entity? Can the man in yellow go outside of Fromville like the boy in white?
Because he technically did. Tabitha saw him in the real world, right?
Oh,
So
that's true.
He technically
going-
can.
I'm going back to the old watering hole, which is lost. And I'm going to say it's Jacob and Man in Black rules, where Jacob or the boy in white can leave, and he has trapped the man in yellow in FROMville, and that's what the man in yellow is trying to do. He's trying to get out into the world.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, because maybe
And-
that's like Xander, it's a great point. Maybe we don't know the full story of the exchange, right? I'm going to grant you eternal life if you sacrifice your children, and maybe that was in return for me to escape. And since it didn't go the way it was supposed to, he's trapped. Now he's pissed off, and this is the whole games that they're playing now with the weather and all the things that, according to our buddy Victor, that this shit never happened before.
Mhm.
So it's kind of cool to see that.
I think we solved
I
it.
mean, if that's the case, it kind of seems like he's just doing a trial and error thing.
It definitely does.
Just
I think
switch
they
things
really
around,
just-
see what works.
Maybe he's just genuinely mad that she dug a hole. Like he's like, stop digging holes in my goddamn house. Like
Yeah,
I was very
fair.
clear
Bill.
about this.
Yeah. All right, Jules, you're up.
This is from Alpha Sansar 4104. Hear me out. Ethan is the man in yellow from the future. Thomas is the boy in white. He died, that's why he's still a boy, but Ethan doesn't know yet. Isn't it odd Ethan just knows everything? It's based on his story. Maybe the voice in Sarah's head was trying to help when they told her to kill Ethan. That could have ended the whole cycle.
Bill, this goes with what you just said.
Yeah,
Because
and look, this
exactly
could be
what
a
you just said.
misdirect. It could be a misdirect, right? They've shown him in yellow plenty of times. Now he's told the story stuff. Now we've gotten to this point in the story where we have this reveal. Our natural inclination is maybe to think that. Again, this is well, I've said this probably on half of our theory videos. The point of what's so great about the show is that both options are equally as awesome and plausible right now, right? And so I just think it's cool. And I agree with you. There's got to be something to do with Thomas though, too, right? Thomas has been mentioned from the start. It's
Right.
Thomas, and I know that's the mess
Well,
with him,
and-
but Thomas is going to play some part before this is over.
And it kind of makes sense if Thomas is the boy in white, because he and Ethan are kind of the same age, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. And
And they look pretty similar, so that would kind of make sense.
The one thing that I just love about this show and this theory kind of brings it to the front of my brain is it's almost like the writers know exactly where the audience is going to be at any given point in the script.
Yes.
Which takes so much more thought than I think people give credence to, because the fact that they've set it up where there's definitely red herrings in this show, and they knew people were going to look into every detail. So there's so many details throughout this show that are only put there to be like, come this way. Oh, this is so interesting. Come this way.
I bet they're the ones who like released all the false fucking spoilers.
for next
They're
season,
like, yeah, you guys wanted to release spoilers? All right, here you go.
Those are
There
just
you
some
go.
randos like
Good luck.
photoshopping.
Yeah. They better
just-
not leak next season. I got so annoyed with all that leak bullshit we had to deal with.
It's
this
going
Yeah,
to.
we're gonna
past
have to be
couple
careful, Dan, on TikTok and Twitter and stuff when they start filming the show, because for all intents and purposes, no one really gave a shit about this show before, and now it's like the hot new thing. And so now there's gonna actually be set leaks. People are gonna want to become the main redditors, right? They're gonna be like the lighting gaffers, like
Yeah.
second assistant, and
It's
he's
gonna
gonna be
be like-
tweeting like shit,
Like Game of Thrones had to film scenes that never happened to make it just in case people were watching to throw people off the scent. It's going to be like that.
That's
all right.
insane to go
Yeah.
through all of that effort.
Next up is from Tanner, everybody's favorite Discord member. He comes up with none of us have watched this yet. So the first time reaction. Let's see what he's got this time.
This crazy bastard.
Hey guys, Tanner from Battle Damage Props here. I got another theory. Here it is. The monsters are 400 years old, at least. They are the original residents of Jamestown. Let me explain. So the Jamestown settlement was settled in 1607. And in 1609, they had something called the Starving Times. 1609 was also shown in the lighthouses, one of the dates etched in on the wall. Something else to note, the original Jamestown colonizers left England in 3 ships. Those ships are the Sarah Constant, Godspeed, and the Discovery. 3 ships left England. What did we see on the cave drawing when Victor and Tabitha were walking through the cave? 3 ships. So looking in Miranda's basement, there was a whole bunch of drawings, but one that we should pay particular interest to is this one. You know who else dressed like that? People from the Jamestown settlement. So here's what I think happened. They come to the New World. The settlement starts off. When the very short time disease, famine, war hits, people start dying off, they are given the opportunity to survive by some type of entity, one that demands child sacrifice. The previous versions of Jade and Tabitha didn't want their children to be sacrificed. I actually think that the vision that Jade saw of the guy with the timber spike through his head might have been one of his earliest, if not the earliest, incarnation. And that's how he got back then. So my guess is we are going to see something in relation to the Jamestown starving times that will show the original occupants making the sacrifices, turning into the monsters that we see. And finally, I think there might be a clue hidden in Jim's final cryptic words, which I believe went something like... So, we'll see. Chances are he's not coming back for season 4. Take care.
So what Tanner is saying is that we're going to get Pocahontas next season.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I do disagree with one thing. Jim will be back. He'll be back as one of those.
Oh,
ghosts.
yeah.
He'll be a ghost.
Yeah.
We're going to watch him die like 4 times.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. You don't think he'll come back at all?
No, I think he wasn't supposed to die. And I think maybe
You rewrote it.
they rewrote it so he died and he will be gone. And yeah, I just take that basically from him not being in the cast photo. I mean, he could have been sick or busy or something. I don't really see him do a lot of interviews for the show. I see everyone in the cast is all over social media, like YouTube channels that I never thought would cover this stuff. They're everywhere. But Jim, whoop, just
Did
a
he do
ghost.
any of that kind of stuff for like previous seasons though?
I don't know.
People were interviewing people for this show in previous seasons.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
guess that's
Yeah.
true.
Well, and that
Yeah,
could be
good point.
one of the
enough.
issues they had is like, he's like, I don't want to go do all this stuff. And the stuff is the
Yeah,
reason that
that's
this
true.
show is now doing so well, I would assume, is a good chunk of the reason at least.
So
I'm-
you think he won't be a Force ghost, whatever Father Khatri is?
No, and I don't think we will get any flashbacks with Jim in them unless it's some weird like B-roll shot they had of him from a weird angle or something.
That's
what about
fair.
an entire episode of Julie trying to save Jim?
I mean, we'll definitely, I bet you they shot that scene from her perspective. So we
Yes.
will see that
Yeah.
scene again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is going to be really cool to see. Good video
Yeah,
from
shout out,
Tanner.
bud.
Per
Such
usual.
beautiful eyes, that Tanner.
All right, next one is from Instagram, I believe. This guy DM'd me. So Billy's got this one.
Yeah, this is John Paul and then Nat ... Sorry, bud. Don't have your whole full name there. What if Julie is the boy in white? Oh, It started as a joke, but I accidentally became a Julie truther. Boy in White is a story walker, not a trap spirit. It explains his handoff approach in saving the children. Julie is a story walker, and FROMville is already impossible. So is it that much crazier to say that Julie can change her avatar? That's kind of complicated, though. What about a simpler explanation? Boy in White is a hero based on Ethan. In the story, Julie is telling the children, and he manifested along with the faraway trees. So Boy in White is not Julie per se, but Julie by proxy. Because it's her story, she also controls the faraway trees. Every time someone teleports safely, it's at the guidance of Boy in White. When people get trapped, maybe it's because she got interrupted. Dale getting stuck in the pool could be the result of a half-written sentence. I also considered that the Boy in White could be Martin, but then I remember that Fatima is Martin.
That is never going to go away, and I love it.
That's
I
really
love
funny.
it.
I need that to be true.
All right,
Right.
Julie Boy in White. I don't think so, but anybody here? You guys with that at all?
I like the idea that he is also a story walker.
Yeah, I'm with that. I'm with that part of it. Yeah.
Or
Yeah, I
maybe
think
someone who
that's very
failed or
cool.
something, and now he's destined to try to like make sure that someone does it. the
Yeah,
right
like
way.
maybe he was in like the same kind of position as Julie before,
Yeah.
where like he found out he was a story walker and was trying to, figure out the rules.
Yeah.
But it also
I love
feels
the Thomas one, man. Thomas being the boy in white is so cool now. Just like
Yeah.
can't let go of that.
It feels to me like the Boy in White knows that he has some effect, though. Where Julie goes back and talks to Jim and tries to get him to run away, she can't affect the past because it's already happened, even though that's the current version of the show we're watching. She's in the past. The Boy in White, if we're correct in thinking that he like takes on the shape of Father Khatri and all those people and is like slightly influencing people. You talk to Christopher. Yeah, I feel like he wouldn't be doing those things if he didn't know that they could affect the people that he's doing them to, where I don't think Storywalkers are ever going to be able to do anything. Even if they sit someone down in the past and have like a 3-hour conversation, I don't think it's going to change anything.
I totally agree. I'm right with you. All right, next up, another Discord member. This is from RC. Let's see what she has to say.
What's up, my FROMGs? It's RC. Wow. That was a good finale of season 3. We got some great reveals, but now we got some more questions. Like, how far back does this reincarnation go? I think season 4 is going to have to show exactly the breakdown of what Tabitha and Jade, experienced as Christopher and Miranda. Were they other people before, or is this just a one-time thing? I think season 4 is also going to have to show some moles. Like there has to be somebody there helping this push along. Season 4 is going to also probably be this time where people start thinking maybe it's time for Boyd to not be the sheriff no more. I mean, he's kind of being unethical himself. He's kind of being a hypocrite. I mean, I love Boyd. I ain't mad at him, even for the Elgin stuff, because I would have went off on Elgin's behind too. And Sarah showed we ain't got time. And that's another thing. How are people going to look at Sarah now? Are they going to accept what she did? Or is she going to be even further more of an outcast? That's going to have to be shown in season 4. Season 4 is going to have to show a lot. Like, these monsters, they can't die. I also predict in season 4, they're going to have to start coming up with a plan to, like, fight back. And also start discussing how do they really get out? Like, season 4 is probably going to be the opportunity where we're going to see more different character developments, especially with Julie, because now she's a story walker. Man, so much to look forward to. We're going to figure it out together. Take care, my FROMGs.
I love the From G's. You got to trademark that.
She is adorable.
So Sarah reminds me of Jeremy Renner in The Town. Whose car are we taking? That's the type of energy she had when she was like, oh, she's in the root cellar. She calmly turned around after ripping Elgin's eye out. And I don't think it's going to change her one bit. I think people are just going to be like, oh, that's Sarah. I don't think she'll get in trouble. I don't think anything like that will happen because Boyd wanted this information. She got the information. So that's my answer for the Sarah part. What do you guys think about the other stuff? I think the Jade and Tabitha, I think they've been there countless times.
Yeah,
countless.
I agree.
She kind of had brought up a point that I was going to make it a little bit of a different way, but I'm glad that she brought that up. I'm curious, do you guys think once Julie does get to story walking, which I don't think will happen right away in the beginning of the season, I think she's going to have to kind of figure it out, right? I think this finale made it seem like, oh, wow, she's going to hop right to it. Like, this may take a full season for her to even figure out how to do. Do you guys think she's going to story walk through more than one iteration? Or do you think it's like she's going to go to the past once and that's it? Or do you think she's going to do multiple trips like she keeps kind of failing? Do you think that they would do something?
I could see multiple.
Yeah.
I could see them doing her kind of starting at the beginning, going through like a few iterations till she gets to like where they're currently at.
If this means we get to see the decimation of Victor's childhood, that would be so sick. If she story walks to that moment 100%. and we see that scene play out, wow.
I think that would be a cool way to incorporate it too.
All for it.
Like, look, we say this a lot, right, Xander? But there are a couple of moments in Lost where we've heard about these catastrophic past events, and then they show it to you, man, and you're like, oh. And you don't even realize at first that's what's the moment you're in. And I hope they're able to pull that off, like you said, Dan. I hope she rolls in at one point and she thinks it's just like a good old normal day, and she just sees that one thing that she knows about that day, and she's like, holy, there's nothing I can do about this.
Man,
like,
I hope we get her jumping back to a time where there's just people walking around at night and she's like, what is happening?
Yeah,
that would be dope. But also I was thinking about that during the video that we were watching. I wonder if they're taking this break because they're building sets and like she's going to story walk in this season and they need to build Because I think
Yeah.
it's been able to been shot so quickly because they just go back to the same place. They don't have to set much up.
Sure.
I saw on one of their Instagrams, the RV is they bring that RV. So there's not an RV in the woods, which I was kind of hoping that somewhere on that property, there's just a flipped over RV, but it's a set. The caves are a set and stuff like that. So they have a lot of stuff
Yeah.
already built and that they can go to. So I'm wondering if they're taking this extra time to kind of build in the summer, wait over the winter, and then shoot the following, like spring.
Good point.
Which means we're probably
Yeah.
going to see some interesting places that we haven't seen before.
I was just going to ask you guys. She brought up one of the things you said, Dan, that we've talked about a lot this season. Is there a mole or a spy or not? And while there very well could be, in my opinion, I want to get your guys' takes. I think it's more devastating when they just get to a good person, like they got to Elgin, right? That's more devastating than finding out that someone's a secret spy. I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? Do you think they're spies, or do you think it's really them just getting mind fucked?
I don't think so, to be honest with you. I think it's more like, the man in yellow or whoever is more omniscient and just knows what's going on.
Yeah. I think that makes it so much more intense too, because it's like everything they talk about, everything they've done, like their past and their, I don't know, present and maybe their future, he can just see it all.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter what they do or think or say. Like he's knows what's going on at all times, and that's terrifying.
I'm with that. All right, now in our finale video, the three of us, Xander and Jules and I, we did film it with Bill, but the file got corrupted. Sorry, you guys didn't get to see that. That was whatever. But now we're doing it together, and so we talked about the possibility of maybe there are monster versions of Jade and Tabitha. And we had a lot of people in the comment section that disagreed with that. So I want to hear their side of it. And I kind of agree with them now that I think about it. Here's what Lady Ash 2467 says. I think the past Tabitha and Jade were killed by the town for trying to save the children from being killed. That's what I got from the line when Jade said, we used to sing them lullabies. Maybe they took the children to protect them. That's my theory. So they think that they didn't sacrifice their kids, that their kids were killed, but could they have been married at that point? Could Jade and Tabitha have been married when it first went down? I think they're going to get together now that Jim's dead.
I thought that kind of already implied that they.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, me too. Because
cool.
Just the way that Tabitha said it, like it was our daughter.
But
it was very intimate.
Yeah. Well, yeah. She said it's our daughter.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But also that kind of makes sense. Like Jim's like, and now Tabitha's fair game.
Did you see the post on the guy that plays Jade? He posted on Instagram. They were doing a live stream, like Julie and Ethan and Fatima and one other person were doing a live stream, and he just commented in the comments, "I am daddy now." So good.
I love it.
He's so funny on and off the show. He's fantastic.
I don't think there's probably not a Jade and Tabitha version of Monsters, but something is letting them come back over and over again to try and save their kid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, wasn't the deal like if you sacrifice your kid, you can live forever? Is that what it was?
Yeah, that's what they said. Yeah. That's what the man in yellow presumably.
That is what they got. That would make sense.
But I think there's a difference between like dying and coming back and living forever.
True.
It's such on a razor's edge though, because I get what Jules is saying though too, because it's a curse, right? It's it would be very tragic if it is like, that way, Xander, where they have to come back and they're trying to save their kids by eating people's moms and stuff. Like that would be pretty wild. But like also the fact that like these just may be the weak ones who decided to. And what you notice too is it's like they're not pairs, right? So these aren't sets of parents that gave up kids.
Yeah.
So like it would be really cool to see like if we do get to meet some of these people in the past or the original iteration, it's like a husband and wife disagreeing over it, and one of them
these
doing
are the
it.
parents that like wanted to do it, even though they're significant other didn't.
So this one is from It's All Lies. I've said this before, but gets no love. Tilly is old Julie. Tilly's last words, "You have to run." Julie's last words to Jim, "You have to run." Tilly wasn't speaking to Fatima. Tilly was thinking Jim as she drew her final breath, like Rosebud scene in Citizen Kane.
Oh, shit.
That's pretty hard.
I did not connect that. I love that.
Gives Tilly a nice little arc. It all comes full circle.
It gives Julie like a weirdly sad ending, though. Like
It
she ends up
does.
an old lady back in the town and she gets stabbed.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, and of by all people, Fatima, who was like the first person who made her feel like
made her
comfortable
feel
there.
safe. Yeah.
Yeah, safe there. And
Yeah.
she's the one who ended up killing her. That's savage.
That's a really cool. It's something I would have never thought of.
You don't like it?
It's super cool.
No, I not that I don't like it. I just said I'm not sure if it's the case. I'm leaning no, but I think it's really cool and it's as plausible as it's got some evidence to back it up. So I said I would have never thought of that.
Yeah, really cool theory.
So this is from Mine941. I'm so sorry if I butchered that. Hi, my theory for season 4. Julia is going to time travel way back and try to save the kids, but being unable to do so, she tells them a story which gives them hope. I also think Julie teaches them the word Ankui, which means hope, and somehow she must be the one who wrote the book that Ethan reads, which in turn helps Julia in the present. Basically, like a time paradox. Excited for season 4. Thank you guys. Heart emoji.
This makes a ton of sense. Yeah, I'm with it.
I'm kind of with the last part where maybe she figures out an inadvertent way to mess with the timeline, which is writing something that will impact the characters later on.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if maybe some of the paintings that we've seen like in FROMville, like some of the etchings and drawings and stuff are done by people who were storywalkers in the past.
Yeah. I like that a lot. Makes a lot of sense.
Even if it's Julie just going through the iterations, writing to herself, right? And for whatever reason, the drawings remain, right?
Oh, like all those years we see could be Julie marking down which year she goes
to. Yeah, why not?
The years were.
I like that.
I thought the years may have been the like iterations of like catastrophe in the town, like when attacks happen.
Yeah, when it resets.
Yeah,
when it
like every time that every time that Jade and Tabitha fail.
Yeah.
Like how many times they failed.
Yeah. In the final theory video for season 3, John had a video saying something along those lines that you'll see whenever the show ends, what year it is, it'll say that year in one of the bottle trees. So like if they fail again, if they win, then not. But if they fail again, it'll say that year whenever the show ends, 2027, 2028, whenever it ends. So there's something that said like that. But the only nag I have here is her saying Ankui means hope, because we learned in the show it means remember.
I was thinking that.
Yeah, that's the only nag I have. I love everything else about this comic.
I think Ankui might have other meanings as well. Like I think it might be a word that
be like a
dual purpose.
Yeah, it seems like it's more important than being like remember.
Like a spell.
Yeah, it's like a positive
spell.
Hopeful.
Like Billy was saying.
Yeah, hopeful. Yeah.
All right, I like it.
Good vibes.
Billy, blow our minds.
It's the FROMily at fans of From. Shout out. Awesome account. Hey, hashtag FROMily, ... Does anyone else in the show wear yellow? ? Hashtag FROMily. There's obviously, I love what Xander said. The Boyd in white, Boyd in yellow. Is great. Boyd in yellow is great. Ethan's worn yellow as well, but
Ethan has. Awesome. But Xander, am I crazy? Didn't you say something along these lines that Boyd would sacrifice himself and be the one stuck there? Didn't you say something like that?
Yeah, after it was when we were talking in the group chat, we found that Mabuse stuff, and I was like, I would not be surprised if someone has to take Mabuse's spot to get everyone out of the town, and it's Boyd.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, he's sick too, right? Like he's sick. Like why go? Why escape? Really, to just like let your Parkinson's develop, right? You know what I mean? So I can see that.
If he's sacrificing himself, I mean, he was gonna anyway. You know what I mean?
And I think it's way cooler for him to sacrifice himself to turn into the bad guy. It just feels more tragic than him being like, "Don't worry, guys, I'll stay here and watch over this place and be a force of good." It almost leaves the story in a heartbroken place, even if everyone gets out.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like it's kind of giving him an outlet for all of this anger and frustration he's built up over this season. He's bitter. He's resentful. So it makes sense that he'd be, becoming like the bad guy.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the scene where Man in Yellow just sits down with Boyd and he's like, I have an offer for you, bro. Like, ooh.
I just want him. No, I want the Man in Yellow to say, you can't save everyone, Boyd. Like that. Like,
oh shit.
They've been saying that to him. Like, he's gonna, and that's when Boyd's gonna lose his fucking mind. He's like, you sick fuck. Like,
oh man.
Can't wait.
All right. I'll tell you what, guys. I love talking From. If you want us to make From videos every now and then between whenever it comes out in 2026, we'll do it. I love talking about this show. So just let us know in the comments if you'd like to see more about this, about From. We'll do it. So, all right. If you're still here, you are a real one. Jules, what do we got? Show us our options, and you can see them below. They're all going to be tagged below. and there's 15% off right now on the website.
Okay, so we have the hoodie that you guys already saw. This, I really love this one. This is a little crew neck.
Ooh.
It's got our can you
Christmas
see?
lights.
Okay.
Yep.
How freaking cute are those?
Very festive.
And you got a t-shirt.
Oh, you got that one too. Nice.
Yeah.
Hey.
She said she
I
got
can't
bought everything.
center this. I'm
Larissa
sorry,
bought
which way
that
is
one.
this going?
Yeah, Larissa bought that one. Yeah, it's like a little Christmas bow. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wasn't kidding when I said that I bought everything. I have the sticker too. It's just in the other room.
I'll put it up
Very
on
cool.
screen. Yeah. All right, well, that's our options for Christmas. If you want to get a Christmas shirt from Scene Invaders, thank you so much if you do. If not, thank you so much for watching our videos. And comment below. What do you guys think about what we just read? If you want us to do more From content, we'll fucking do it. Let us know. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Later.
Guys.